Hello viewers, welcome to our channel Career Prep. In this series of videos on quantitative aptitude, we'll first concentrate on topics like number system, HCF and LCM, fractions, squares and cubes of numbers, square root and cube root of numbers, percentage, average, etc., which are the foundation of mathematics. Mastering these topics is the first step to solve problems in quantitative aptitude. Please watch the videos, understand the content, and practice. Before we begin, please subscribe to our channel. Also press the bell icon to get notifications as soon as we post a new video. So let's begin. Today we'll learn everything about number systems. Number system starts with classification of numbers, their definition and examples. But you may have a doubt as to why we have to know about the classification of numbers. Remember viewers, direct questions on classification of numbers may not be asked in competitive exams, but indirect questions which require knowledge of different type of numbers will definitely be asked. So it makes sense to understand the definition of various types of numbers. Number system consists of numbers which can be classified into various categories. Numbers can be either real numbers or imaginary numbers. Real numbers. Real numbers are a combination of rational and irrational numbers. All the arithmetic operations can be performed on these numbers and they can be represented on the number line. Real numbers are denoted by the symbol R. So what are real numbers? Real numbers are the combination of rational and irrational numbers. All arithmetic operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division can be performed on these numbers. Real numbers are denoted by the symbol R. We'll learn about rational and irrational numbers later on in another video. Let's move on to imaginary numbers. When you square numbers, the result is always positive or zero. But an imaginary number, when squared, gives a negative result. Imaginary number is denoted by the symbol I. So what are imaginary numbers? When you square numbers, the result is always positive or zero. For example, 0 squared is 0. When you the square of 2 is plus 2 is 4. The square of minus 2 is also 4. So when you square numbers, the result is always 0 or positive. Even when you square a negative number, you will get a positive answer. Like minus 3 squared is plus 9. Minus 2 squared is plus 4. So you always get a positive number. But an imaginary number when squared gives a negative result. Imaginary number is denoted by I. We'll study imaginary numbers in detail in a later video. In this video, we'll concentrate on real numbers and their classification. Natural numbers, whole numbers, and integers are the most basic forms of numbers. Now let us understand the meaning of these numbers. Natural numbers are counting numbers which start from 1. Example 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. Natural numbers are denoted by the letter N. Whole numbers. Whole numbers include 0 and natural numbers. Example 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, etc. Whole numbers are denoted by the letter W. Integers are whole numbers and negative of all natural numbers. Example 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, etc. So let's understand what natural numbers, whole numbers, and integers are. Natural numbers are counting numbers which start from 1. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, etc. Whole numbers include 0 and natural numbers. Whole numbers include 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, etc. along with 0. Integers are whole numbers and negative of all natural numbers. That is, integers include 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and negative numbers of all the natural numbers like minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, etc. Let us learn about rational numbers and irrational numbers. Rational numbers. Rational numbers are numbers that can be expressed as a fraction a upon b, where a and b are integers and b is not equal to 0. What does this mean? This means that the rational numbers are numbers that can be written as a fraction and like a upon b, where a and b are integers and b is not equal to 0. Every fraction such as 5 upon 8, 4 upon 15, minus 3 upon 11, etc. is a rational number. All integers such as 9, minus 7, etc. are rational numbers since 9 can be written as 9 upon 1, minus 7 can be written as minus 7 upon 1, and so on. 0 is also a rational number because 0 can be written as 0 upon 1, 0 upon minus 3, etc. Every decimal number is a rational number since it can be written as a fraction. For example, 0.9 can be written as 9 upon 10. Square root of all perfect squares is a rational number since the answer is always an integer. For example, root 4 is 2 and 2 can be written as 2 upon 1. So root 4 is a rational number. Similarly, root 9 is 3 and 3 can be written as 3 upon 1. So root 9 is a rational number. Rational numbers may be terminating or non-terminating and repeating. For example, take the rational number 3 upon 4. When you divide 3 by 4, you will get the answer as 0.75. This is a terminating decimal because after the decimal point, there is a definite number of digits. The digits end or terminate after a certain point of time. So this is a terminating decimal. Take another example, 3 upon 11. When you divide 3 by 11, you get the answer as 0.2727272727 and so on and so on and so forth. This is a non-terminating and repeating decimal. It is non-terminating because after the decimal point, the digits go on and on and on. That is, there is an endless number of digits. There is no end. So it is a non-terminating decimal. Moreover, the digits 2, 7 repeat after a regular interval. Keeps on repeating after regular intervals. 2, 7, 2, 7, 2, 7, 2, 7, 2, 7. This is a repeating decimal. So rational numbers may be terminating or non-terminating and repeating decimal. Now let's learn about irrational numbers. Irrational numbers are numbers which are not rational, that is, they cannot be written in the form of a upon b. Irrational numbers cannot be written in the form of a fraction. For example, root 2, root 5, 3 root 2, etc. These are all irrational numbers. Irrational numbers are non-terminating and non-repeating in nature. What does this mean? Let's take an example. Root 2. When you find the value of root 2, you'll get the answer as 1.414213563 and so on and so forth. It is non-terminating because after the decimal point, the digits keep on going. There is an endless number of digits after the decimal point. So this is a non-terminating decimal. Moreover, the digits do not repeat after a regular interval. It is just a random sequence of digits after the decimal point. There is no sequence, there is no order. It's just a random sequence of numbers. So it is a non-repeating decimal because the numbers do not repeat at regular intervals. Thus, irrational numbers are non-terminating and non-repeating. Watch our video on decimals for more details on terminating and non-terminating decimals. Now let us learn the definition of prime numbers, composite numbers, even numbers, and odd numbers. These are the most important definitions as you will get questions based on these numbers in percentages, averages, number series, etc. Questions based on these numbers are a favorite in competitive exams. If you know the concept well, you can answer and score marks very easily. So what are prime numbers? A natural number which is greater than 1 and is divisible by only two numbers, 1 and itself, is a prime number. So what does this mean? Prime number is a natural number which is greater than 1. It is divisible by only two numbers, 1 and itself. For example, 2, 3, 5, 7, etc. are all prime numbers. 2 is a prime number because it is greater than 1 and it is divisible by only two numbers, 1 and itself, that is 1 and 2. 3 is a prime number because it is divisible only by 1 and 3. 5 is a prime number because it is divisible by only two numbers, 1 and 5. Similarly, 7 is a prime number because it is divisible only by 1 and 7. Composite numbers. What is a composite number? A composite number is a natural number which is greater than 1 and is not a prime number. A composite number is divisible by more than two positive numbers. For example, 4, 6, 8, etc. 4 is greater than 1, it's not a prime number and it's divisible by more than two numbers. 4 is divisible by 1, 2 and 4. So 4 is a composite number. Similarly, 6 is greater than 1, it's not a prime number and it's divisible by more than two numbers. 6 is divisible by 1, 2, 3 and 6. So 6 is a composite number. 8 is also a composite number because it is divisible by more than two numbers, 1, 2, 4 and 8. So 8 is also a composite number. Let's move on to the definition of even and odd numbers. Even number. Even number is a number divisible by 2. Example 2, 4, 6, etc. 2 is divisible by 2, so it is an even number. 4 is divisible by 2, so it is an even number. 6 is divisible by 2, so it is an even number. Odd number. A number not divisible by 2 is called an odd number. For example, 1, 3, 5, 7, etc. are all odd numbers because they are not divisible by 2. 1 is not divisible by 2, so it's an odd number. 3 is not divisible by 2, so it is an odd number. 5 is not divisible by 2, so it is an odd number. 7 is not divisible by 2, so it is an odd number. Hope you have understood the definition of prime numbers, composite numbers, even numbers, and odd numbers. Now let's look at the number 1. Many people have a doubt as to whether 1 is a prime number or not. Is 1 a prime number? Let's see. Let's see the definition of a prime number. A prime number is a natural number that can be divided by exactly two numbers, 1 and the number itself. But 1 can be divided by only one number, that is 1. So with this definition, 1 is definitely not a prime number because it can be divided by only one number. Is 1 a composite number? Let's see the definition of a composite number. A composite number is a natural number which can be divided by more than two positive numbers. But 1 can be divided by only one number, 1 itself. So 1 is not a composite number. A composite number should be divided by more than two numbers, but 1 is divisible by only one number, so 1 is not a composite number. So 1 is neither a prime number nor a composite number. So what is 1 called if it's neither prime nor composite? Number 1 is neither a prime nor a composite number, but it can be called as any of the following numbers. 1 can be called as a natural number. It can be called an odd number. It is a rational number. It is a positive number. It is a whole number. But 1 is not a prime number and 1 is not a composite number. Viewers, look at this number chart. This number chart clearly explains the classification of numbers. Look at this and get a recap of all of the definition of all the different types of numbers. Number system is classified into imaginary numbers and real numbers. Imaginary numbers consists of complex numbers which will be dealt later on. In this video, we'll deal with real numbers. Real numbers may be irrational numbers or rational numbers. Rational numbers are numbers which can be expressed in the form of a fraction, whereas irrational numbers cannot be written as a fraction. Rational numbers may be fractional numbers or integers. Integers may be positive numbers, 0 or negative numbers. 0 and positive numbers together form whole numbers, whereas positive numbers form natural numbers. So natural numbers are positive numbers, whereas whole numbers are positive numbers and 0. Natural numbers are of different types, like even numbers, odd numbers, prime numbers, and composite numbers. Even numbers are numbers that are divisible by 2. Odd numbers are numbers that are not divisible by 2. Prime numbers are numbers that are divisible by only two numbers, 1 and itself. Composite numbers are not prime numbers and they are divisible by more than two numbers. Hope you have understood the definition of all these various types of numbers. So viewers, here's a quiz for you. But before taking the quiz, please be confident of the definitions of all the different types of numbers. If you are not perfect with the definitions, please go back, learn again, and then come back to the quiz. So let us start the quiz. Question number 1. All counting numbers which start from 1 are called what? Did you get the answer for this? The answer is natural numbers. All counting numbers which start from 1 are called natural numbers. Second question. A natural number which is greater than 1 and is divisible by 1 and itself only is a dash. The answer to this is a prime number. A natural number which is greater than 1 and is divisible by 1 and itself only is a prime number. Third question. Dash are whole numbers and negative of all natural numbers. The answer to this is integers. Integers are whole numbers and negative of all natural numbers. Fourth question. A number divisible by 2 is called a dash. The answer to this is even number. A number divisible by 2 is called an even number. Fifth question. The fraction 3 upon 7 is a dash number. Did you get the answer for this? The fraction 3 upon 7 is a rational number. Sixth question. A dash number is a number that can be divided by more than two numbers. The answer to this is composite number. A composite number is a number that can be divided by more than two numbers. Seventh question. Is 0.7 a rational number? The answer to this is yes. 0.7 is a rational number because it can be expressed as a fraction 7 upon 10. Eighth question. A number not divisible by 2 is called a dash. The answer to this is odd number. A number not divisible by 2 is called an odd number. Ninth question. Root 3 is a dash number. The answer to this is irrational number. Root 3 is an irrational number. 10th question. Is 0 a rational number? The answer to this is yes. 0 is a rational number because it can be written as a fraction like 0 upon 1. Please go through this video till you're perfect with the concept. With a perfect understanding of the meaning of the different types of numbers, you can easily answer many questions in number series, percentage, average, etc. that appear frequently in many competitive exams. My next video will be about consecutive numbers. Please do watch that video also. If you have liked this video, please like, subscribe and share this video. Thank you.